Alright girls, here are our notes for 4G, finding the equation of a line. This is so important, I'm not kidding you, it is really important. So when you have trouble with this, you need to be able to ask me questions about it, okay? So email me or in a Zoom, ask me what's going on. Now I'm in a public area, so it's going to be a little bit loud, so try to stay with me. Okay, so sometimes you're given a graph, so I'm just going to highlight that part. Sometimes you're given a graph, I know there's a lot of teachers in here, just try to stay with me, and you can see the y-intercept. So this is pretty easy to do, because remember, all my lines look like y equals mx plus c, so I'm really even thinking, why am I telling you this? You know how to do it already. All you have to do is get 2 points that you can see, and I can see these 2 points here. You've got to make sure that you can see them. And this one goes down 2 over 3. So I know that the gradient is down 2 over 3, and I can see that the y-intercept is -2. So I'm done. Y equals -2 thirds x minus 2. This can also be written like this. We need to talk about that when you come back, that next to and on top are the same things. I cannot put the x underneath with the 3. Don't do that. So either next to or on top. Okay, let's go to the next one, number 2, which says finding the equation of a line when we're given the gradient. So super easy. Ooh, that was really schmarmy, sorry. Given the gradient and a point. Okay, so we're given the gradient and a point which the line passes through. So this is kind of tricky because we have to find the c. So here's what happens. I need to find the equation of a line, an example, that passes through. There's my point. That's my x and my y. And it has a gradient of 2. So that's my m. So I go y equals mx plus c. So I know it's something like this, but I don't know what the c is. So I'm going to use this xy to get that. And I'm going to put 3 in for the y and 2 in for the x. So I'm going to do this process, I'm going to do it right here, of finding c. So I take the y, put it where the y is. I use my 2, my gradient, my m, and then the x where the x is, and then plus c. So I get 3 equals 8 plus c. And then just algebra, take 8 from both sides. You don't need to show this working. c equals -5. All right, so I go back here and I go, good. Y equals 2x, that's not even a 2, 2x minus 5, because that's what the c is. I'm done. So it's not that hard. It's just this finding c bit that you got to get your head around. Okay, last example is the hardest. So I'm going to be finding the equation of a line given 2 points. Let me try not to use the yucky highlighter. Given 2 points. Now sometimes these can be coordinates that I'm given, like in this example, I'm given coordinates, so 2 actual points. And sometimes it's like points on a graph that you can see, but you can't see the y-intercept. You can just see the 2 points on the graph like hanging out. So let's do this example. If it were the graphing example, where you had a graph, it would look, it would be on a grid. Sorry, I didn't make one. Where I had -4, 3, and I could see that point, and -6, -2. So I'd be able to see the 2 points on the grid, any 2 points I could find on the grid. And I would pluck them out and I'd write them down like that, and then I'd do this. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is find the m. And I find the m using, you guessed it, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So I'm going to do that right here. x1, y1, x2, y2. I'm going to -2 minus 3. Be careful with the negatives. -6 minus -4. So this is -5. And here, this turns into a plus here, so I get -2. So this is 5 on 2. A negative divided by a negative is a positive. So lots of creepy year 7 math there that you have to remember. All right, so I've got my gradient. It's going uphill. This is a positive number. I feel happy about that. Okay, now I'm going to go back to either using this point or using this point. Doesn't matter which one you use. And I call that xy. I'm going to use the first one, but it really doesn't matter. And there's my m. So here I go. Y equals 5 on 2x plus c. And now I'm in finding c. I'm in finding c mode, where I take this point, I put that for the y, that for the x. Now remember, when you multiply a fraction times a whole number, it's just like having this over 1. So I multiply across the top, so it's negative 20 over 2. Yeah, negative 20 over 2 is negative 10, and then I add 10 to both sides to get 13, and now I'm ready. And I say, therefore, the equation of the line is y equals 5 on 2 times by x, off to the side, not underneath with the 2, plus 13. That's it. Kind of looks like it might go all the way up to 13 hitting up there. So it seems a reasonable thing. All right, now your work is right here from 4G in the book, 3 to 5, so 3, 4, and 5, every second one. 6A and B, there's 2 parts, I and II for each A and B. Then 11B, and then this extension question, 4ABC, is a really, really good one to get you really popped up for your 10. Okay, that's it.